Anything and everything you say will be confidential, so nothing will be attributed to your name.
Yeah.
Once I am done transcribing this data or this conversation, I will destroy this audio recording, so I won't have access to it anymore. The only thing that I'll have access to is the transcription. I do want to mention that you will be assigned a pseudonym, so I won't be using your name. If you name drop, family members, colleagues, etc., acquaintances, I'll change their name as well, so that nothing comes back to you.
Okay.
Okay, so first and foremost, can you tell me about where you were born and raised?
So I was born here in the Valley, here in McAllen.
Okay.
And I think for like the first year and a half, we moved to Florida. We were there for like a year. And then, we came back, and we've been here ever since.
Did y'all move up there for specific employment or?
My mom had family up there.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, most of my mom's family is over there in Florida. My grandma, all my aunts are all over there.
And why did y'all come back to the Valley after moving to Florida?
It was a very fast-moving place. My parents were used to my parents, for a while, they lived in Mexico in a very small town, and being in a big city was like a big change for them. And they're like, "Nah, we need to go back to the Valley."
What part of Florida was that?
I think it's Tampa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a very expensive place and very fast-paced.
Well, thankfully, in terms of expenses, they lived on the outskirts of the city, so outside the city limits, which was my parents loved because it was in El Rancho basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was still very fast paced. My parents were like, nah.
But Tampa's in water, right? Mm-hmm. So how were they living in the outskirts? Is it also very, I guess, flooded, or how's the area?
I guess the engineers are really good. It's still there's still houses and stuff like that. There's really big lots, but it's considered outside of city limits. But it's still very developed. It's not completely out there.
It's crazy to me how much water there is in Tampa.
Yeah.
And people love it there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very expensive place to live in now, especially nowadays. Yeah. I don't know how it was, 15, 20 years ago, but now it's expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about your parents? Where were they born and raised?
Both my parents were born and raised in Mexico, in El Sur, or in La Frontera, as they call it. They're a little town called Comales. It's a tiny, tiny town. It's been growing since then, but at the time it was mostly farmer town.
What state?
Tamaulipas.
Oh, in Tamaulipas.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's in the southern part of Tamaulipas. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Comales. Gotcha. Okay. So when you were growing up, what did your parents do for a living?
My mom was a stay-at-home wife. She, to this day, she's still a stay-at-home wife. My dad, in Mexico, he was basically the truck driver for the city. Repartía fruta, he'd go to the farmers, get all their crops, and then distribute them through the little shops there.
Oh, okay.
That was his thing.
Okay, and what does he do now?
Now he works in the oil field.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit more into how the changes in the administrations might have affected, your family and your father. But given that he's working in the oil field right now, how long has he been working there?
I want to say at least 26 years, 25 years, around there.
Oh, he's given a good chunk of his life to the oil field. Is he almost gonna retire?
One day, some days he say he wants to retire already, but then some days he's like, nah, I want to keep on working. My dad's older. He's 64 now.
Oh, he's in the age to be able to...
Yeah, he's in the age to retire, but he's like, nah, I like my job. So I like it here.
So he's the type of man who just likes moving.
Yeah.
He does not want to be...
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard some people say, no, they're in their 80s, 70s, and they say, no, I don't want to stay home because once I stop moving, that's when I'm going to, pass away.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Okay. So tell me about your family's immigration history.
Yeah, so my mom, like I said, my mom was born, my parents, all of his, history has been in Mexico. My mom's side, though, she was born in Mexico. Same thing with her older two siblings, but all of her younger siblings have been born here in the U.S. And I think in the early 60s, my grandparents moved here to the U.S., and they were migrant workers and stuff.
Oh, so did they come under the Bracero program?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they came in legally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they did the paperwork. They got my grandpa got permits to like work here,
Interesting.
and they were just migrant workers, and yeah, they've been doing that since.
Okay. So growing up, what languages did you speak at
Uh,
home?
it was mostly Spanish. My dad doesn't speak English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he doesn't speak English to this day. He still refuses.
How does he communicate at work?
Uh, I guess like
He gets
he
by.
has like translators, or he like gets by. He tries to like choppy English, but like he refuses. It's not so much that he can't speak it. He refuses to learn it.
Oh, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, that's not true.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
So I guess he allows his work to do the
Yeah.
speaking for him.
Yeah.
So he's a great worker then.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So what about now? What language do you typically find yourself speaking?
A little bit of both.
yeah.
So growing up, like I said, it was mostly Spanish.
Okay.
In part because my dad only spoke Spanish, but also my sisters were like in school, like all you do is English. Now they have really good Spanish programs, but back in the day it was like
Oh, they have Spanish programs here in the
Yeah.
public school system here?
yeah. So like early on they had like Spanish classes for little kids now. Yeah, back in the day it used to be it wasn't like that.
In elementary?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's kind of like to keep your culture or
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
quite
because back in the day it was very common for little kids to like completely lose
Submerge.
touch with like yeah. And like nowadays I think it's weird. Like people are like, oh, do you speak Spanish? Like, no, I don't. I was like, dude, what?
So what do you think about the fact that there's been this change to where now kids or students at a early age they can get some sort of bilingual education at school?
I think it's awesome. I remember for a while, like I lost touch with like speaking Spanish.
Oh yeah.
So like I struggled a lot with my dad. And my dad would bully me for it too. I was like, what do you mean, bitchy chopo?
So you would get bullied by your father
Yeah.
playing, of course.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, I need to start practicing again.
So you support
Yeah.
this move?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's very good for like bringing people together.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So what would you say to some of the other, Americans who might point the finger to the Hispanic, or more specifically the Americans of Mexican heritage who, they might hold the belief that they don't assimilate because they hold on to their Spanish language a little bit too much?
I want to say it's a little ignorant,
Hmm.
in my opinion, because I feel like if you're so like straightforward on like keeping that from like you to assimilate here in the U.S., especially like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like keeping an open mind is
Okay. So to you, holding on to your language, it doesn't keep you from assimilating to this country. Okay, gotcha. So tell me about your religious background growing up.
so I'm born and raised Catholic. Did all my confirmation, baptism, all that stuff. The majority of my family also are Catholic. A couple of exceptions here and there. Like a lot of my dad's side of the family, they switched over to like I don't know. I'm seeing what's that one religion? I don't know, but they switched around.
They're Christians too, though. The ones that have switched.
Some of them.
Oh yeah.
No, they switched. They switched out of Christianity.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what they are now, but yeah, they got out of being Catholic, and then they went to Christians, and then from there they went to like Jehovah's Witness or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they bounced around, but yeah.
Which at their core, a lot of these religions, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholic Church, at their core there's some similarities, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know a lot of them are like like the saints, things like that. It's like big controversy.
Yeah.
The position of Mary and Jesus also is like another big controversy for some of these religions, but yeah, for the most part, it's similar.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So what is your age?
I'm 26.
26.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do for a living at the moment?
I work at the university as a part-time student. Oh, as a part-time there at the university.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a teacher's assistant.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So are you a master's student at the moment?
No, I'm undergrad.
Oh, you're an undergrad?
Yeah. So I'm doing it through financial aid, so through work study.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So they allow you to take on certain jobs to be able to generate some funds and as a student. That's cool. Okay. And what are you studying?
So graphic design with a minor in industrial engineering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the design aspect of like engineering, so I just want to keep it
So you're like bringing in, I guess, two fields that can be seen as distinct.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So what do you plan on doing with that?
So I eventually want to get a job in UX, UI design, and do like industrial design, product design, things like that.
What is UX? What is?
So UX is like user interface.
Okay.
So like understanding the user for a product and like seeing what they like, they don't like, and then like make your design off of that.
Oh.
To make it like useful for the user, appealing for the user.
Gotcha. So would you be having to relocate elsewhere for that?
A lot of the jobs are remote. Like I can work
really?
anywhere from yeah.
Damn, that's a good setup because you wouldn't have to move. A lot of the time, some of the good jobs require you to move to the cities.
Yeah.
Which tends to be very costly to them.
Yeah.
So if you can work from a place like the Rio Grande Valley and get a job like that, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
My professor, his wife is a UX designer. She works for a company based out of New York, and she works in the valley. So like she makes a lot of money, and they live here in the valley. So
They probably have a nice big house.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome that you're doing that. And what's your marital status?
I'm single.
And do you have children?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I got my dog, but that's another thing.
Okay, perfect. All right then. So tell me, when thinking about the different political parties in the U.S., which one do you align with the most?
Definitely, I'm very conservative, so I will go with like Republican.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here you made an interesting statement. So what is more important to you, being a conservative or being a Republican?
I would say conservative.
Okay.
And I used to not care too much about politics, especially like in high school. I was just very like in my own head, just doing my own thing, But
it's a difficult life when you're a teenager.
Yeah, and even when I was eligible to vote, like I was still like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like I started working, I started matriculating a little more in the university too, where I was like, all right, some things are not right, some things are a little backwards.
Tell me about those things.
Yeah, so like in the university, it's very like you can't be very open with like you can't be calling yourself a conservative without people like talking smack. It's like, oh, so you're like anti LGBTQ, whatever.
Anti-women.
Yeah, anti this. You're not. Yeah, it's very like, all right, whatever.
How does that make you feel?
Again, ignorance. I was like, I feel like they're just ignorant. And it's all right. Like if that's your opinion, it's cool. But like, come on, let's move past this. We have homework to do.
Is it kind of marginalizing for you ever?
What do you mean by that?
Do you ever feel marginalized? Do you ever feel like ostracized or cast out because of your conservative values?
Not really. I don't get a lot of things like. I don't get that that feeling as much because I just ignore it mostly.
So you don't get offended?
Yeah, I'm just like, alright, cool.
Okay, so do you think that you can express yourself as freely as they can when it comes to your political values or your conservative values?
Not really. I usually try to keep to myself at this point when it comes to like my political values. I used to have a cup, Yeti cup that was it was all black with like the blue stripe, for the police. Yeah, and like someone was like, "Oh, you like that? You like that cup?" I'm like, "So you like the police?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And it's like they help us.
It was too political.
Oh, huh?
It was too political.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I guess I don't want to have this conversation again. So I decided I just got like a different cup.
To avoid that conversation. Interesting. So how are your this type of experience or dynamics with professors? Because you're telling me about students, but what about with professors?
Professors are very professional about everything. They're not like they don't bring it up at all. I know a couple of professors that are like on the down low because I work there in university, right? So I have a little more access to the building than other students. I have a little more access to like interact with the professors, like behind the classroom. You know what I mean? And that like a lot of them are like also like secretly conservative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that they also like kind of keep to themselves to avoid offending?
I would say
else?
so. Yeah. Especially in the graphic design program, like the whole art building, it's like almost exclusively LGBTQ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the art in the art program, it's in the engineering program, it was like people of like
they tend to be more conservative, right?
Yeah, it's very conservative. Like everyone's like wearing like steel-toe boots and like work hats, and then in the graphic design building, or the art building, it's all like people with like colored hair and like crazy like outfits and stuff like
Very
that.
distinct worlds
Yeah.
that you're submerging yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about other things that made you care about politics and made you care about your conservative values more.
So it started off with my dad. Like ever since like Biden came into presidency, his work has gone like off the rails.
What does that mean?
So he stopped. So the way they pay my dad used to be 24-hour pay because he's like away for like if it weren't for the fact that we go see my dad, like we drive up there wherever he's at, we would only see him like maybe like 2-3 times a year. Because
Really?
because he's always working. Yeah. And he used to be compensated for that by being paid 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Now they reduce his hours to like 12.
And he still has to be over there.
And he still has to be over there, yeah. And they even tell him like, yeah, you're gonna have to do like you might have to do overtime, but we're not gonna pay you for that. And my dad's like, what the fuck? Like, no.
That's as a result of the restrictions imposed by the Biden administration.
Yeah. Like ever since then, it's been that way.
Okay. So how has that affected your family?
So we don't in terms of like expenses, like things have gotten a lot harder. We think twice about like buying things now, especially for like medical needs. And my mom, she has like her medical issues. I recently saved up money for a hearing aid, and I needed that, and so now we like try to like save up a little more. You know, we're not like super open on spending anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the restrictions that were passed by the Biden administration, or the changes that have come about due to such administration, y'all are feeling it firsthand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other ways that such administration has affected your family as well?
I mean, my mom's a stay-at-home mom, like so. It's like most of our income it's based off of my dad and whatever he does. So like, that's our biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like how it affected him in his job.
Okay, and so, you're telling me that there's been changes in your dad's life, especially when it comes to his employment.
Yeah.
How does he feel about this from what he's told you?
Oh, he's pissed. He's very upset. You know, he wants to be vocal about it, but he also doesn't want to like upset the company because right now they're in a position where like if a worker is giving too much issues, like bringing up too many things that they seem is not just, it's just easier for the company to just get
Let it go.
Yeah. So my dad doesn't want that. He wants to like continue working, so he tries to keep his mouth shut. He's a little vocal here and there, but like he tries to keep the peace as well. But he's not happy about it at all.
So his salary is basically cut in half.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even though and the responsibilities are the same.
Mm-hmm. And even more so because my dad got a promotion, which like the pay wasn't that much big of a raise. He's now like an operator or something, and the only thing that's keeping him because he has a seniority compared to all the other workers, he should have a higher position, but they keep on telling him, oh, you don't know English, so like we can't bring you up. But yeah, like my dad, like he's like back and forth from like different locations to the shop to the offices. Like he's like continuously moving back and forth because his expertise, like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he has him like going to like the worst jobs where they have a bunch of new guys that don't know what they're doing, and he's there having to like babysit them, and it's just like I'm too old for this shit.
Interesting. So how has this at all, if at all, affected your political preferences?
Oh, like I'm like full. I support Trump.
So was this? When did this support come about? Like what election cycle was it? 2016, 2020, or now that we're in 2024?
I think it was like mid. I voted for Trump in 2016. I remember that because I was old enough to vote, and I just did it because everyone was bashing on him. Like I remember in high school, it was always like, "Oh, like Trump's so dumb," you know. In the political science class I had in high school, and I was like, "All right, I'm voting for him. He's cool." But then I saw what he did in his presidency, and I was like, "All right, cool. Like for a dumb guy, he's doing really good." And then when it came to the Biden administration, I was like, "All right, now we're like screwed."
And so you voted for him both in 2016 and 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually started caring about politics and your support for him was after Biden won?
Yeah, like after I saw like what Biden did to the country and how like it's affected my dad's job, and yeah, it's been
okay. So I see that, I understand that this administration has imposed negative repercussions for your family financially. Are there any other ways that you perceive that the Biden administration has affected this country or your people?
So my aunt from my mom's side, she works for RCMA. She got like a recognition by Obama.
What's RCMA?
The RCMA is like a program for immigrants, helping immigrants come over to the U.S. And she like absolutely hates Trump. Like she says, she's like he's the devil incarnate or whatever. So she's like super like
liberal.
Yeah, and yeah, like there's been a disconnect between our family and her because we can't like talk too much openly about like being like conservative and Republican because like she's like goes all out.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's been
so this divide that you perceive between your family members. Who do you hold responsible for this political divide that has divided families, has divided the country?
I feel like there's always been a divide between our family in that regard because we're always conservative, and my aunt has always been, and her family as well. Like they've always been very like helping the immigrants, helping them come over. What Trump does or what Trump wants is like completely like inhumane or whatever. And there's definitely a humanitarian crisis in terms of like how the border is being like how it's being like looked over or how it's being worked on. But yeah, she's been the divide has always been there. But our families like have like kind of coexisted. Like, all right, cool, that's your opinion. All right, cool. But now it's been like very openly like, all right, we need to keep our mouth shut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's just to avoid any conflict between your family members.
Yeah.
Okay, you started talking about how your aunt helps immigrants come over, correct? And you mentioned that you do recognize that it's a humanitarian crisis. That's I guess everything's centered around the border, immigration, etc. What's your position on immigration?
So I'm definitely I'm against illegal immigration. I'm all for like legal immigration, but the way they're doing it now, where they're just allowing people to come in and then be here in the U.S. and then having a court date a year later, but like they're like living free here. I'm like super against that.
Who's allowing them to come in?
I believe it's Biden and his administration. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So how do you think? Actually, why do you think that they're allowing them to come in like that in numbers?
I'm believing it's because they're just trying to get like a vote in. Like once these people are processed and are eligible to vote, like I'm pretty sure they're voting for Biden or the Democratic Party. I've seen a lot of videos, or I like listening to a lot of podcasts, and I know one of them that resonated was with Joe Rogan. I forget the name of the guy. He was a veteran, or I don't know. I think he's an active like duty member, and at one point he was moved over to working the border wall for 6 months, and he said that he's seen the worst things there than he has like over there overseas.
Really? So what were some of the things that this person mentioned?
So he would mention that the coyotes, as they call them, would thousands of people coming over, and women with like children on their backs with all their belongings on them, and these coyotes would when they would see that the meat are coming over to intersect them, they would grab the kids off of the women's backs and like throw them in the water so that the border patrol would like put all of the resources to try to rescue these children, while the coyotes has like pack mules like with drugs and stuff like that. That's like a big thing that he was talking about.
So there's an overload on the resources that are available to combat this crisis.
Yeah, and on top of that, like with the Biden administration, where they're like cutting down like the support that the border patrols are getting, it's been very tough for them.
Interesting. Okay, so what do you think? This immigration, or the number of immigrants that are being allowed to come here, how does that affect this country?
Personally, I feel like it's an urgency of security. because in that also that podcast it was mentioning about like all of these like terrorist most wanted lists. It's crazy how many the number that these border patrol people have caught, and then thinking about like the ones that they didn't catch. Like there's been a lot of like under the water like scenarios or things that happened where people were like shot or stabbed by these men and women that were immigrants, and they just try to keep it on the down low.
So you think this poses threats to this country's securities?
Yeah, because I think he mentioned something about like some of these like organizations are like part of like gangs and part of like these like pretty bad. I know they mentioned names. I don't remember them. But yeah, like very very dangerous people. Very.
How does this make you feel knowing that this is going on?
I wish the two-way community was a little more accepted.
Oh, what?
I wish the two-way community was a little more accepted, not so much the.
What do you mean the two-way?
The 2A, the concealed carry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Especially for the people who like are fearing and want to protect themselves, things like that. Now that they're trying to like defund and put more and more gun laws.
Okay, so this crisis and the fact that you perceive that it poses some threats to this country's security, your response is to arm up, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say arm up. Like I'm not saying like okay, we need to like every citizen needs to have like an armory, but at least like give the citizen here in the U.S. like an opportunity to like protect themselves and their family.
Interesting. That makes sense. Okay, so now that we're talking about immigration, I'm going to ask you about specific issues that have to do with immigration. What do you think about the building of the border wall?
I'm all for it. I'm tired of seeing the pieces of the border wall by my house, or they haven't finished building it up. Like I'm all for building the wall.
There's a lot of metal on business aid to veterans.
Yeah.
It's been there, 2-3 years now?
Yeah.
Just sitting there?
Yeah.
And then there's another one where they were fabricating a great degree of metal that was going to be used and sold to the government.
Yeah.
Back over there in Rancho Blanco, which is Javelina Drive now.
Yeah.
Para allá. So, still sitting there. There's a great degree of it sitting there. So, I do have to ask you that there's sources that are indicating that the building of the border wall increases the number of migrants or immigrants who are going to die because they're pushed to more remote areas. Does this impact your thinking about the border in any way? Or the border wall, sorry.
Not so much, and I do realize where people are gonna there's that scenario where things would go wrong because of the building of the border wall. But the way I see it is if someone has the will to cross the border illegally, just shows that they're not willing to go through the process. I feel like if someone is trying to do things under the water, crossing the border illegally, it shows that they're not willing, has the initiative to really come in to the U.S. the right way. And my first assumption is they're up to something. They're nefarious or for some reason.
Gotcha. So there's the argument that a lot of individuals have to turn to the illegal path, supposedly because there's not enough, or the process doesn't move fast enough.
Yeah.
What do you think should be done in response to this?
So, I would say more judges and get that process a little more fleshed out. Really understand what's keeping the process from moving forward, and work on that to really get the results we need.
Yeah.
To do things the right way.
It's undeniable that it is a crisis that's going on.
Yeah.
What do you hold responsible for this crisis? What if when thinking about political parties?
I would say the Democrats.
And why is that?
Just the way Biden has restricted a lot of these the way he's enacted where people just come over and live here until the court dates on a year and a half from now.
Instead of sending back.
Yeah, that incentive that people see it as are promoting more and more people to come over, and that's why now we have caravans that are 1 million people or got like 2,000 people. You know, it's a lot of people coming over.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, like I really feel like his actions have really like caused, or his political party has really caused us to like. I feel like that's his actions is what he did.
Gotcha.
And, I blame. I wouldn't say I blame him, but I feel like that's something that resulted from him.
From the administration.
From the administration.
The policies enacted.
Yes.
Or the policies removed because Trump had the policy of returning.
Yeah.
There was a term that was used for it, but I'm spacing out on it. Where they would return them to Mexico and they would wait in Mexico.
Yeah. So they had like certain little towns that were like designated areas where like people would stay there, and that's where they would wait for the court date, and the judges would process them.
Yeah. And they were I mean, he was able to get other leaders from other countries to cooperate, with the U.S. and trying to decrease the number of people crossing to this country illegally.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so what do you think about separating children from their families?
I think it's a terrible thing. I feel like it's sad to see, but it's a necessary evil, especially when like children are innocent, right? Like they have no means of like their voices isn't heard as much as like the actions of their parents or the actions of like the people that they're with. So I feel like it is a necessary thing to do to separate the kids, like the innocents, to like what the rest of the process.
Yeah. To try to protect the children, is that why?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. So, do you, given that you live in the border area, in the border region, do you know of anybody who works maybe in the border patrol and has told you stories of what's going on?
I've had a couple of friends who are in the border patrol and are currently trying to be in it, and they don't want to openly talk about like what they've seen because apparently it's like pretty messed up.
Really?
Yeah, they try to like keep that like shut, and they don't want to talk about it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And is it like the conditions or they just don't talk to you about it? It's more like openly.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it openly. They're very like I don't want to remember that. I don't want to relive that in my head. Like I want to like just do my job and move past that because that was not.
So this immigration crisis is putting some of these agents through traumatic experiences.
I would say so, yes. I know a couple of agents have passed away as well because, like I said, like they're trying to get these children out of the water, trying to get trying to help these people. They themselves end up drowning, or like another thing would happen to them because of the actions of the coyotes and what they do to try to like distract the border patrol people with like causing harm to the people who are trying to cross over, so that like a mile down the river there's another like pack mule crossing fentanyl, crossing drugs, whatever.
It's a very complex issue that is going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, the most vulnerable being a child is being used as a peon to be able to
as a distraction,
increase profit. Increase profit. Jeez, it's a very heavy topic, and I understand why they wouldn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, given that there are approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants, what do you think should be done with them today? Today?
I will like in the hypothetical scenario, I would like to see them like removed from the U.S. and deported back to Mexico, and then being processed the right way. Realistically, it won't happen, especially trying to round up like everyone who's been like let free in the U.S. Realistically, it's not going to happen. But I do eventually want to see like for these immigrants to like come in, background check, all right, we're going to get you like settled, and we're going to try to process you. But like I said, hypothetically, I would like to see them removed from the U.S. back to Mexico, and then get processed the right way.
Gotcha.
But again, it's a lot of people to do that with. So like I said, like maybe half of them is probably more doable.
So since you recognize that it's it's maybe not feasible
Hmm.
to deport all 11 million, what do you think is a better alternative or more feasible alternative?
I think they're just like a testament of like learning from our mistakes. At this point, like we'll build up the border wall and then try to secure the country first, and then from there we'll move in internally and see how we can like assess what happened already. Like the damage was done, right? So like we'll figure it out after we secure the border wall.
Gotcha. So what do you think should be done about immigrants who were brought here as children?
I think they can't really go back, in my opinion. I would let them like stay here, get processed here, especially like their children, right? They have no means to like. A lot of them lost connection completely back to Mexico, especially like in areas that are super remote. I think they should just be left alone.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So let me see. Okay. So now I'm gonna talk about your how you see yourself. So when thinking about your different identities, being an American, being some people identify as Mexican American, Hispanic, Latino, etc. How do you see yourself? How do you identify yourself?
I see myself as Hispanic, especially since I was born and raised here in the U.S. Yeah, I would say Hispanic.
What does that mean to you? What does it mean to be Hispanic?
It means like having Mexican roots, understanding my culture, but also like matriculating here in the U.S. and having my roots set here.
Okay, how does being a Hispanic affect your day-to-day life?
Well, it's kind of hard to say here in the Valley because it's the culture here, but especially like moving up north where you see a lot of more different cultures, different ethnicities. It's a little more like, okay, stand out.
So you're saying that you don't really notice your Hispanic background here?
Yeah, like here in the Valley, it's a norm here. Like we have taquerias like every other like block, and yeah.
So it becomes more salient when you go to another place like a city.
Oh yeah. Like especially when we go to vacation and we're just all like, or we need to start acting a little more formal, I guess, like a little more tense because we don't know how to like I don't know, interact or not interact, but I would say like the feeling is different, when there's a lot more people that don't look like you. Right? Yeah.
Okay. So what can you tell me about Trump's positions on immigration?
In what way?
So anything that comes to mind, and if you don't have anything specifically, I can elaborate more.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything too specific right now.
Okay, so I do want to bring up that his positions on immigration are often deemed by others as racist. What would you say to these individuals?
And ignorance, I guess. I feel like the way I see Trump and my whole family sees him this way is that he is a businessman first and foremost. He's not a politician. He doesn't try to like sugarcoat things. He doesn't try to like other politicians where they try to like say the right things to get the most people to vote for them or to follow them, right? Trump is very like, this is how it is, this is the problem, this is how we're going to solve it, right? And he doesn't sugarcoat things, and not as much as other politicians at least. So I feel like the hard reaction of all right, he's using these really big words, he's using these words that are not like seen from other politicians or said by other politicians. I feel like that's what's causing this like reaction to like really hate on him.
Gotcha. So then, what would you say to the rhetoric that he employed when he announced his bid for the presidency in 2015, or the summer of 2015? And he said, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. So he got a lot of backlash for that. First of all, what do you think about that?
Well, he's not wrong.
Okay.
I do feel like there's like good people, and especially the ones who are trying to do they want to come here, matriculate here in the U.S. It's an American dream to come here and start a new life and really succeed in life. And there are definitely those people who are like desperate for that, and they're willing to come over illegally, and I understand that. But there's also those who are doing this the right way and are going through the process of getting asylum here in the U.S. Right, and but the people who are coming over illegally, the majority of them are like, or at least the way I see it, are like people who are trying to like cross drugs over and stuff like that. Like I've seen a couple of instances myself where when we go, like where my dad, he's working like in a small town that's like rural as heck, and it's by a larger town that's close to the border, I think Laredo or one of those towns.
Oh, so he works that way.
He works all over. It's
yeah.
wherever the ranch is at, wherever the location's at.
Okay.
I remember once we were like in the middle of nowhere. There was like nothing but ranchos everywhere, and it wasn't like super late. Like there was still a little bit of light out, but with all the brushes and trees and stuff like that, like the road itself was pretty dark, and dark enough to have headlights on, right? And just driving down the road, like out of nowhere on the side of the road, we saw like two vans that were like transporting people in bags and stuff like that. My mom was like freaking out.
People and what?
People in bags, like duffel bags, like gym bags.
Oh, so they probably were trafficking drugs.
Yeah, they're probably trafficking drugs, and then they're also crossing people over, like women and children. So I'm assuming they were trafficking people as well. And we were freaking out, and then I guess they saw us driving by. One of their vehicles started following us for a while.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we were freaking out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So how does that, going through an experience like that and knowing that something like that happens, how does that make you feel?
It was traumatic. It was very like, all right, like it's ever since then my dad is like, all right, I'm not getting jobs on this side of like this area. Like every time he works now, it's like in Carnes, Texas, areas around San Antonio, that area.
Oh, further up?
Yeah, further up. Yeah. He's
So,
like, yeah, I'm not putting out through that.
Jeez, that is. Yeah, I mean, and he's also older, so like.
Yeah. Well, he's had a couple of instances. It wasn't as dramatic as that. Like he has run up. He has seen a couple of immigrants going to like the ranch where he's at, and they're asking for food and water. And my dad's like, I can't help you because it's not part of my job, but I have water in my cooler. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, go get it if you want.
Yeah.
Oh. So these were immigrants, right?
Yeah. And he's had that instances a couple of times as well, where he sees a couple of immigrants and they're trying to find like help, food, water. And my dad's like, I have a cooler full of food and water there. Like I'm just leaving it at that. I'm gonna go work right now, but yeah.
So given that, or where does your dad stand on this, on illegal immigration?
He feels bad for the people who are willing to come over, especially like when he sees that they're like these like teenage boys who are just wanting to work, trying to do things the right way. Like he feels bad for them.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, get away from me. It's not like he feels bad. He's definitely like, all right, you need help. I understand. But the way the administration is doing it, and like just allowing these people to come over, and he's very conflicted.
Interesting. Okay. So why do you think he doesn't maybe call a border patrol agent when he comes across individuals like this?
I think because at a certain point, like he just sees them as like a fellow Mexican. He just like I said, my parents were born in Mexico. So it's like, all right, I see them. I see the struggle they're coming from. I understand what they're coming from, and especially seeing them in front of them, like at a one-to-one level, where it's just like one or two dudes like walking in the field. They definitely feel bad about it. But every time they click on the TV and they see like, oh, it's like a 2,000 people caravan just coming up, that's when my parents are like, oh, damn. That's when they're like, all right, no.
Interesting. So, but when he sees these individuals face to face,
yeah.
It's like he sees a part of his history in them.
Yeah. So I feel like, and also like when you see someone in need of water and food, like you'd be, sorry for my lack of words, but be a piece of shit if you like help them out,
It's part of being human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, when thinking about these large caravans, these immigrants that are coming today, where do you think that most of them are coming from?
I think a lot of them come from areas that are like further south in Mexico, I believe.
So not from Mexico.
So like in Mexico, but like south of
Okay.
Mexico.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
that area.
Southern, so the southern states part, the
Yeah.
southern parts of Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that there's some tension or some tension that has come up because immigrants today also come from like countries like Venezuela, um, El Salvador, Honduras, etc.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any, I don't know, differences or similarities between, immigrants that come from these different countries relative to immigrants from Mexico?
I haven't done a lot of research in terms of like where are they coming from. Like I know in Mexico, like a big thing is like the all these gang violence and all the this drug issue that they have in Mexico. A lot of people are trying to escape that. I'm not super familiar with like other countries from further down, but I'm assuming it's the exact same scenario where they're just trying to escape a bad neighborhood essentially.
Okay, bad conditions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think about the Trump's proposal to end the birthright citizenship? And that's that. I can elaborate on that if you're not familiar with that.
So birthright citizenship is like where if your children is born here, then you yourself have citizenship.
So birthright citizenship is if I am a foreigner or if I'm an illegal immigrant,
Yeah.
I have a child here, they become citizens.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't necessarily become a citizen, but they do. So they're called anchor babies.
Yeah.
So because I had children here, I can get benefits. Not me personally,
Yeah.
but benefits for my children that I, that I can also benefit from. So what do you think about that?
I think that's fine. I don't see an issue with that. Like if someone is coming here to get a better life for their children, then I completely agree with that. Especially the conditions that are in Mexico, where there's a lot of gang violence, a lot of shootouts, things like that. Like I wouldn't want to have my kids over there.
Okay, so since Trump is proposing to end that, do you oppose his position on this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, and that is due to you being willing to help individuals that are born here. Then, okay. Yeah. So there's the argument that a lot of these issues that are ongoing, the incentives of individuals wanting to come here. Some politicians or some individuals argue that that is one of the reasons or one of the incentives that are provided for people who come here illegally. Does that change your position on this at all? Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So tell me more about what makes you conservative. You talked about immigration. Can you elaborate on other issues like the LGBTQ community, how you perceive that, the ideology about the trans community, I guess fiscal responsibility, things like that.
Yeah. So growing up Catholic, it was very the big talk point was abortion.
Yeah.
And that's where being conservative really stems from. Where this whole debate with like pro-life or pro-choice, that's always been like a really big thing. My parents, my mom especially, she would always go to like the abortion clinic when they had one here in McAllen. She would always go there and like protest outside, and they would pray the rosary. Yeah, they would pray the rosary outside, and every time like a young girl would walk in to do the abortion, my mom they would give them like flyers and like give them these little like silicone like rubber babies. It's like this is the baby in like 12 weeks or whatever. That's how big they are.
To remind them.
Yeah, then this is a child. Yeah, there's a person, and so it's always been stemming from, or the base of it is very pro-life, pro-choice.
Pro-life.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So, are your parents also pro-Trump?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so thinking about the valley, thinking about this place, there's a great degree of people who are also very conservative in that respect, that they're very pro-life.
Yeah.
Why do you think that a lot of them continue to support the Democratic Party despite being against abortion, and the Democratic Party doesn't necessarily stand, or does not, if we're looking at it today, doesn't stand on that. Do not align with these individuals. Why do they continue supporting the Democratic Party despite that?
I feel like the Democratic Party, these people overlook certain things.
Okay.
So they would overlook these like the pro-choice thing, in favor of something else that they're offering. I think that's like the biggest thing.
Okay. So it's like, what are the things that they offer that what I mean is the Democratic Party offering these individuals to overlook their position on abortion?
I would say, I think there was a program where they like aid these people, especially like people in need. Like I understand like food stamps, things like that. And I know there are other programs that are a little more involved than just food stamps. So I feel like they provide that, and that's like the way they get to these people, so to get them to overlook other things.
Oh, and what do you think this does to the community here? Providing these types of programs. Is it helpful? Is it?
I would say in certain scenarios it's helpful. Don't get me wrong. Like I know there's a lot of people, a lot of like classmates in high school and middle school that were in need of food stamps and government aid, right? And some instances they still didn't change their opinion. They were still like, pro life, right? But a lot of instances that was like their way of like creeping into the life and be a little more like a little more, I wouldn't say involved, but like that's just like the little incentive a way to get into their mind or into their life, and then from there like continuously affect them or continuously change their opinion on certain things.
Oh, so in a way to grasp and keep that support.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So then do you think that if there's quite the people in need, and a lot of these people who are in need are very pro-life,
mm-hmm.
Do you think that then maybe that the Republican Party should be a little bit more lenient when it comes to the programs that are offered to individuals to, allow them to, I guess, remain in line with their own interests? So receive some kind of help, but also be voting for people who are pro-life?
I would say so.
Okay. Why do you think that the Republican Party typically doesn't, or is perceived as a party that doesn't help the poor?
The whole idea of like picking yourself up from the bootstraps. Like if you're gonna work hard, then you're gonna succeed in life. And in some instances, especially like immigrants who like come over, they don't have anything they need the government aid. That's where it stems from. So like immigration comes in, and then the government helps them out to get them situated here in the U.S. And then from there they just go off into like whatever Democratic Party they believe in. But most of the time it's been the Democratic Party, right? So this idea of like the Republicans not helping people out, I feel like that's why they don't have that big of an impact with some of these people, because they're not like being as involved the minute they come in to the U.S., right? At least that's how I see it.
Interesting. So do you think that the Republican Party should be more involved?
I would say in other ways, yeah. Like I would say, yeah, help them out a little bit, but like not like have them live off of like the government's checks like the rest of their lives. Like, okay, I'm going to set you up for like 6 months, and then we're going to do a wellness check. We're going to check if you have a job, and then we're going to like once you have your job and a place to live, like we'll cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're like set, now that you've established like here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that the Democratic Party is just handing out benefits to these?
I believe so, yeah. They're just hanging out benefits with no like incentives of like, all right, do you have a job now? No. When are you planning on getting a job? I don't know. All right, here's another check. I've had neighbors. They weren't immigrants, but they did have like a lot of government aid. They refused to work, and they had like seven kids, and they were always pregnant with a new one. And they would brag with each other, like entre más niños más dinero.
They would say that.
Yeah, they would say that. They would brag about like, yeah, more kids, more money. That's how the government works.
And they never worked.
No, they never worked. I never worked a day in my life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, how does that make you feel as a as an individual who, since you're getting paid in your position,
Oh, it pissed me off. I was pretty
taxes.
upset about like just hearing them talk about that, and I was like, well, we work our asses off out here, we pay taxes, we do what we can to like stay afloat, and yeah, these people are just on their asses in their house. It's not even theirs. They're renting, and they live for free, essentially.
And then, so you believe that it's at, your expense and Americans' expenses.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I think we're coming to an end. Do you have anything to add about anything that we've talked about?
Not at the moment. Not that I could think of.
Okay. So the last question is, what does being an American mean to you?
Being an American to me means freedom. I would say so, like freedom to do whatever you like. Of course, with laws and like within a certain like thing, but the biggest thing is freedom.
Freedom. Okay. All right. And do you believe that the policies and ideology pushed by the Democratic Party threatens that concept of freedom that is provided and available to Americans?
No, I feel like they're very open with a lot of things, but the way they're going about it, it's what's been like going back to the immigration thing. Like, yes, they're giving these immigrants like freedom here in the United States, but in the consequence of the citizens that are here, right? Like, we're paying taxes, we're doing all these things, and things are not being held the right way. These are not being handled the right way. So I wouldn't say that they're like imposing or keeping that ideology, but I do feel like the way they're going about it is not the best.
So, okay. So, just to make sure that I understood you correctly, so they don't directly threaten the freedoms available here to Americans, but indirectly they can.
Yeah.
Some of the policies and some of the decisions that they make threaten the American economic interests, the security, etc.
Yes.
So is that okay? That's how you see it then?
Yes.
Okay. All right then. Out of anything that we've talked about, do you have anything to add or something that maybe that I hadn't asked that you want to bring up?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, that brings us to an end. I surely will have some follow-up questions once I transcribe this
Yes.
and analyze it. So, am I able to reach out to you if I have any follow-up questions?
Yes.
Okay.